Zen fam, I don't know about you, but I am sick to death of lying speculation channels. I'm sick of being mucked about on software, on hardware, on releases, on events, on stuff that might or might not be. So I intend to set up a series, and I intend obviously to do news about the impending PlayStation 6. Now this is going to be a bit different. Many's the time we have encountered channels for upcoming systems. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, blah 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 blah. Go on and on and on. We have it right now with Grand Theft Auto 6, where every tiny little scrap of something somebody said with the source of "trust me bro" is elevated to the position of journalism news. No, not here. Here the line will be drawn. I am about to, this is basically the start of a new series on this channel, and I'm calling it the 6 o'clock news. Get it? 6 o'clock? Right? Here on the 6 o'clock news, I will discuss actual factual knowledge, things that have been substantiated in fact that are going to be developments of the PlayStation 6. Now that could be memory requirements, it could be operating system, it could be chipsets, it could be what the controller's like, how it functions, what it looks like, what the system looks like, what its memory will be, what its price will be, its release date, anything you can think of that will be PlayStation 6 related, as long as it's real and confirmable, then that is what we've reported here on the 6 o'clock news. That may not come out at 6 o'clock. Okay, and to sweeten the pot, the 6 o'clock news, once we have all the lovely data, or at least as much of it as humanly possible, once we know like price and spec and look and controllers and dates and prices and all that stuff, once we have a solid base of information to say, yeah, that's what the PS6 will be and I want one. Once we have that, then and only then will a fund be set up, and everybody will stick in £2 or $2 or £2 or €2, whatever. Okay, everybody sticks in 2 units of the currency of your country. That money will be gathered together, right? And then when the console is put out, or is about to be put out, I should say, we'll have a draw, and the amount of money it takes to buy that system and ship that system from whoever's selling it to whoever's winning it will be used to do so. Now, here's the good bit, okay? Let's say the system costs £1,000. We don't want it to cost £1,000, heaven forfend. Well, let's just say for argument's sake that it does end up costing that much. If we get £2,000 in the kitty, that means 2 people win a PS6. We get £3,000 in the kitty, and so on and so on and so on. So the more we get in, the more can come out to you guys. Now let's say we only get like 1,000 and say £80. Well, in that case, what happens then is the winner will get the console and they'll get a game, but that means only one person wins. And we as a community want to maximize our potential. So the more people we have sticking in their £2, then that's cool. But crucially, 1 entrant per person. I don't want somebody coming along and slapping down £100 and having like a whole bunch of entries. No, no, no. This is a one man, one vote situation. One ticket per person. Now that limits us, admittedly. We can't have oodles and oodles of cash coming in. But there are other people out there who don't have oodles and oodles of cash. Maybe putting £2 into a kitty to possibly win a PS5 is somebody's absolute limit. So that is what we will live by. We will service the least among us as much as we service the most among us. Okay? Because most of us out here these days are skinty poos. Okay? We're all potless. So, that's the thrust of it. We're going to gather the news. I'm going to spit the news out. I'm going to put it out in as an accessible, truthful way as humanly possible. And I like to think over the years I have gained a reputation for keeping you guys 100. Never lie to you guys. So, we'll have that news coming out whenever it comes out. Nothing will be made up. We might do the occasional video where we go, hey, it would be nice if, but it'll always be couched in, this is not the case. These are ideas, these are concepts. Concepts over here, news over here. The two will not intermingle. But when there's actual factual news to be reported that's verifiable, then that is what will be reported on the 6 o'clock news. Hopefully you'll enjoy this venture as much as I hopefully will enjoy it too. And maybe in a year or two when we get the PS6, somebody or somebodies could actually have the chance to win a PS6. And imagine you're asking, Zembloke, does that mean that you're allowed to enter? Well, I'll leave that up to you. I will put in a public vote closer to the time. Is Zembloke allowed an entry? Now, considering I'm doing all the news gathering and I'm doing all the stuff, then it could be argued that I would be allowed an entry. But then again, considering I'm the one that's like trying to give them away and trying to treat everybody the same, that's why I'm going to leave it to you guys. If you guys believe that I'm allowed to enter, then I will enter. If I'm not, then I will not. It's that simple. Okay, so I say what we're going to do now is we've laid out all the mumbo jumbo. Okay, let me lay it out one last time. So 6 o'clock news, real, affirmable, actual factual PlayStation news for the PlayStation 6. No lies, no speculation. Occasional sort of, hey, it would be cool if, but that is never going to be put as this is the news. That'll be a separate idea, but still be within, the 6 o'clock news segment. The series will run as long as till we have a PlayStation 6. It will not be the meat and potatoes of the channel. The meat and the potatoes of this channel will still be gaming culture. This is a series to run at the same time as the regular Zembloke programming. Once we have the data, then we will set up the fund. Once we have the fund, then we will have a winner / winners, hopefully winners, and then somebody out there or several or somebodies out there will have PlayStation 6 or 6s. I may or may not be allowed to enter as per what you guys say. Now I'm going to take a stab at what I would like to see in a PlayStation 6. What does Zembloke want? I'll tell you what Zembloke wants. One, he wants a disc drive. Yes, I want a disc drive. Why do I want a disc drive? Because I want full on-system backwards compatibility to at least the PlayStation 3. If you can get the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 in there, fantastic. But it should be PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and obviously PlayStation 6 games playable on disc on the system. Now yes, it is the case that having a disc drive will push up the price of the system, but for the ability to play those games of those aforementioned systems, then I personally believe that's a price worth paying. What else do I want? I want at least a 2 tera memory. Solid state drive, 2 tera memory. Expansion bay if you like. That'd be cool. I want a controller with a better battery and physical controls. This whole concept of like a controller that's purely based on what do you call it? Not haptic. Capacitive. On capacitive controls, like a tablet or a phone? No. No. With a pint of no sauce at the side. No capacitive controls. Real, functional, pressable, interactable, feelable controls. That's what's wanted. I want it to, and the main thing I want it to be quiet. I want it to be understated in its appearance. You know, I mean, it could still be beautiful, could still be a really nice thing to look at. But I think, as much as I believe the PS5, I actually like the look of the PS5. When I first saw it, I called it digital sex. But I think the next iteration needs to be a more subtle affair when it comes to the designing of the outer case. As well as going back into software again. I want it to be, as I said, full backwards compatibility to PS3, PS4, PS5, PS6. Possibly PS2 and PS1. That's negotiable. PS3 is not. But the main thing I want is I want a proper YouTube player which has allowed me to comment on YouTube videos. I also want there still to be the ability to play Blu-ray movies and DVDs because there is a disc drive in it, but I know that sometimes companies try to get away with things. No. Not here, you will not, Sony. And I also dearly still want to have a version of Share Factory. Because on the PS4 I had Share Factory, here on the PS5 I have Share Factory Studio, where this video is being made right now. And I wish there to be an upgraded Share Factory for PS6. And I want the PlayStation app to be able to take video that I shoot on my phone and send it via the PlayStation app to my PlayStation 6. No longer do I wish to have to take the footage on my phone, put that onto Dropbox, open up Dropbox on my laptop, take those Dropbox files, put them in a memory stick, and then from the memory stick put them into my PS6 where they mostly work, but sometimes they don't. I want no more corrupted files. I don't want to have to go through umpteen steps just to get video footage into my video editing software on my PS6. And I think, you know, other things could be said in the future, but for now, those are my major concerns. A powerful, long-lasting controller, a Share Factory piece of software that also talks to my phone and accepts files directly from it. A proper YouTube player, full backwards compatibility, a quiet and subtle looking system. Something that is basically sits underneath the telly and just looks nice. It could be quite large if it has to be. I firmly suspect it's going to be a big old boy. But as long as it doesn't shout, "I'm a PS6" from across the room, then I think it's going to be a livable bit of kit. But obviously, if you want to tell me what your desires for a PS6 are, then please typey down below, let them bloke know. And I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Hopefully we'll get some good news for PS6 that I'll be able to deliver to you lot. And we'll get a healthy amount of monies into that fund when we get close to PS6 delivery. And maybe we can get more than one winner. That'd be lovely. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.